Students, today we are going to learn exception handling. Exception handling in Java. What is the errors? What is the exception handling? Introductions, errors and exceptions. Exception handling is a crucial mechanisms that allows developers to manage runtime errors gracefully, ensuring the program continue to run or terminate smoothly. That is important for exception handling. What is Java errors? Errors is a bug which makes program go wrong. Types of errors: error type and the descriptor. Compile time error detected by the compiler prevents code from running. Runtime error occurs while program is running, often causes crashes. Logical error: code runs but gives incorrect results. Hot set: hardest to find. Hardest to find. Common, we'll see what is common compile time errors. Okay. Compile time errors occurs when the program cannot compile due to syntax or type issues. These are the syntax errors which are detected and displayed by Java compiler. Whenever compiler displays on error, it will not create the dot class file. It is there necessary that we fix. Therefore, necessary we fix all the errors before we can successfully compile and run the programs. Common compile time errors, mainly because of typing mistakes, use of assignment operator in place of equal to, double equal to, bad reference to objects, missing semicolons, missing or mismatch or brackets in the class or methods, use of undeclared variables, missing double quotes in strings, missing semicolon. Example, missing semicolon. Public class main, public static void main, int x equal to 5, system dot out dot println. Here, I forgot to miss the semicolon. So it is giving error, semicolon expected. So tip Java requires a semicolon at the end of every statement, int x equal to 5. Okay, undeclared variables. Example. Okay, here public class main, I put a public static void main, system dot out dot println my variable. So variable is not declared. Okay. The result cannot find a symbol variable my var. Tip, you can declare a variable before using it int my char equal to 50. So you have to declare like this. So this is a solution. So whatever tip is nothing but here solutions. Okay. Now mismatched types. What is the mismatched types? Suppose int x equal to hello. Hello is a string here. But we are putting a variable like a value like hello in the x. System dot out dot println x. So it is incompatible types. String cannot be converted to int. It makes sure that the value matches the variable type string. So you have to put a string x equal to hello. So demonstration of the compile time errors. So here, for example, class compile public static void main. Have a nice day. Basics. So this is my standard class. Missing is semicolon. So expected system dot out dot have a nice day. So these are the errors in the compile time errors. Now we'll see what is the common runtime errors. Runtime errors occurs when the program compiles but crashes or behaves unexpectedly. These are those errors occurred when the program is successfully compiled and created a dot class file, but produces a wrong result due to the wrong logic. That is, produce the system it is other than expected. Common runtime errors. Accessing an element that is out of bounds on array. Trying to store a value into an array of the incompatible class or type. Dividing an integer by 0. So we'll see some examples. Dividing by 0. Okay. Now here public class main, public static void main, string, yes. So you know how to execute this program. Okay, just I'll show you. I have taken this copy. So here I will explain the program first. Int x equal to 10, y equal to 0. Int result x 10 divided by 0. System dot output system. So we are expecting the program. So this give me the errors. Exception in thread main java.lang that arithmetic expression divided by 0. So I will go there. copy this, save this. So go to my running window. Go to my running window. I'll put Java C main.java. Now Java cp.main. It is giving error because this is divided by 0. So we cannot use. This is called some errors. This is called errors. This error is called as the runtime errors. Now we will see array index out of bound. This is another class, int numbers 1, 2, 3. Numbers of 8. This is 0, 1, 2. 0, 1, 2. Numbers of gate. Exception in thread main. Java.lang array index out of bound. Exceptions. Index 8 out of bounds for the length 3. Only 3 length. Length is 3. Just we will go there and explain and execute this. Then we can understand the what's called real time. Now go there and execute this program. By compile, then execute. I'm getting the index array index of bound exceptions. Okay, it is giving the same errors. Now we will go the demonstrate. So we demonstrated already runtime errors. Now we will take this another program, third program. Okay, the third program. So here runtime class name is runtime.java and a equal to int a equal to 20, b equal to 15, c equal to 15. P equal to a divided by b minus c. So it is denominator is 0. So same runtime errors. Okay, arithmetic exception by divided by zeros. Okay. So exception in a condition caused by runtime error in the program and the Java interpreter encounters an error such as dividing integer by 0. It creates exception objects and throws it out. If the exception object is not caught and handled properly, the interpreter will display the error message as on the below terminates program. So this is the errors. Interpreter giving this kind of errors because we are not still not handling this error, how to handle the error. Okay, logical errors. Now logical errors happen when the code runs, but the result is not what we thought. Okay, for example, you take example. Public class main int x equal to 10, y equal to 2, 10 minus 2. So I'm expecting the sum, but I mistakenly put a minus here. Instead of plus, I put a minus. So my expected result about 12. But what will happen? It is giving 10 minus 2, 8. Okay. So this is the code mistakenly. We made this errors. It's a human errors. Okay. Next, what are the exceptions? Exceptions are the events that occurs during the execution of the program and they disrupt its normal flow. There are objects that represent on error or unexpected behavior. Exception handling provides a way to deal. Exception handling means it's a way. Exception is different, error is different. Exception handling is the way of dealing these events during a program can recover or terminate gracefully. Exception handling is that allow us to handle the runtime errors caused by the exceptions. These are the definition. An exception is an unexpected event that occurs during the program executions. Okay. So these are called executions and exception handling. It affects the flow of the program instruction when okay, an exception may occur. So I will put what I will put. I will put this all into the before of the exception handling. So it means an exception can occur for many reasons. Some of them invalid user input, device failure, loss of network connection, physical limitations, out of disk memory, code errors, opening or unavailable file. The exception handling is a mechanism. Provides a way to deal with these events, ensuring the program can recover or terminate gracefully. Exception handling that allows us to handle the runtime errors caused by exceptions. That's it. Now, exception hierarchy. What is the exception hierarchy? Okay, this is throwable. I told you, it's a throwing the errors. Throwable is nothing but is a top objects. Error and exception. Runtime exception and IO exceptions. The divided into the runtime exception and IO exception. The throwable is a class. It's a root class in the hierarchy. The hierarchy splits into two branches. One is the error and the exceptions. Error and the exceptions. All exception classes are subtypes of the java.lang exception class. This is my class. Class name is the package. That is a package name. Package name is nothing but java.lang.exception class. All the exception class will be here. The exception class is a subclass of the throwable class. Okay, exception class is a subclass of the throwable class. Same thing, same word. Okay, all same definitions. Other than the exception class, there is another subclass called error. Okay, not only this one, error is the another subclasses which is derived from the throwable class. Okay, so throwable class has two different types of subclasses. One is the exception subclasses and the error subclasses. So I can write like this: throwable class has two subclasses: error and the exception. That's it. Error and the exception. Throwable class has two subclasses: error and the exceptions. Okay, so we can write it here itself. Write it here. Throwable has two subclasses: error and the exceptions. So this point not required. So now what is the errors? We will see what is the error. Errors indicates that something went wrong, which is not in the scope of the programmer to handle. You cannot handle error on error. You cannot handle on error. Also, the error does not occur due to bad data entered by the user. Rather, it indicates system failure. Okay, disk cross or resources and availabilities. These are all the errors. So this I think we have seen in the top. Okay, system cross, all we have seen. Okay, anyway, we can learn. So you cannot handle on error. Also, the error does not occur due to the bad data entered by the users. Rather, it indicates a system failure, disk cross, and a resource unavailability. Here represent irrecoverable conditions such as Java virtual machine running out of memory leaks, stack overflow errors, library incompatibilities, infinite recursion, etc. Errors are usually beyond the control of the programmer, and we should not try to handle errors. Errors are typically ignored in your code because we can really do anything about error. For example, stack overflow. For example, we cannot do stack overflow. If a stack overflow occurs, an error will arise. They are also ignored at the runtime compilations. Errors, virtual machine errors, assertion errors, out of memory error, stack overflow errors. Okay, errors are serious. Errors are serious responsible applications that should not try to catch. They are typically conditioned that programmers cannot recover from or external applications. Okay. So finally, we can put a word like this. Finally, we can put a word like this. And the errors, examples. Virtual memory errors, assertions errors, okay, out of memory error, stack overflow memory error, already mentioned. So these are the errors. Next, exceptions. Exceptions are events that occurs during the runtime due to bad data entered by the user. Here, bad data. Okay, error means we are not bothered about the bad data. It is automatically automatically doing. So it is not in our programmer controller. Exception we can able to control. Exceptions. A bad data or entered by user or the error in the programming logic. That means runtime error and logical errors both we can consider as the exceptions. A programmer can handle such conditions and take necessary corrective actions. For example, there can be several reasons that cause program through exceptions. For example, okay, Several reasons. For example, opening on opening a non-existing file in a program, network connection problem, bad input data provided by the user. Let us see a few scenarios. One is the arithmetic exceptions. This exception occurs when we divide a number by zero. If divide any number by zero, 25 by zero arithmetic exception, null point exceptions. When a variable contains null value and you are performing you are performing operation on the variable. For example, if a string variable contains null, okay, then and you are comparing with another string. Another example is when you are trying to print the length of the string that contains null. So these are both are important. First is assigning. One is the assigning. Okay, assigning a null value and we are finding the length of the strings. These are all called a kind of a string. For example, string equal to null. Okay. Now this is string equal to null. This is finding the length. Okay, right? Understood now? str dot length. So with the length we are finding. So this both will give the errors. So we can put string equal to null. This is one error. Okay. Now number format errors. This exception third. Now we saw one to arithmetic exceptions and an null point exception. Now number format exception. This exception occurs where there is a type mismatch. Trying to perform arithmetic operators on a string variables. Okay. Now this beginners.com a number format exceptions. This is number format exceptions. Okay, beginners.com. We are trying to integer. Integer is a wrapper class. Parse it. We are parsing. This is for converting into number. So this is one kind of errors. Next, array bound index. Array out of trying to access the array index, which is beyond the size of the array. We are trying to access the index 9th element, but the size of the array is 3. These exceptions occurs when indexing which does not exist. For example, this one, say this int. So this is array index out of bound exceptions. Right? Now types of exceptions. So these are some various scenarios. We have seen various scenarios. Now see the types of exceptions. One is the checked exceptions. Another is the unchecked exceptions. Checked exceptions or IO exceptions or compile time exception, all are same. Unchecked exceptions or runtime exceptions or logical errors, all are same. So now we'll see checked exceptions or IO exceptions or compile time exceptions. Both are three are same. When errors occurs in the compile time, it's called a checked exceptions. When errors occurs on the runtime, it's called a unchecked exceptions. Okay. Checked exceptions are exceptions that are checked at the compile time. These exceptions must be either caught or declared in the method signature using the throw keywords, those keywords. They represent the conditions, that is the reasonable application might want to catch. Examples: IO exceptions, SQL exception, file not found exception, class not found exceptions. So list of build exception for checked exception defined in java.log. What are there? See this. These are this many exceptions in the checked exception. One is the class not found. Class not found. Clone not supported exceptions. Okay. Illegal access exceptions. And instantiations exceptions. Interrupted exceptions. No such field exception. No such matched exception. These are the different kind of exceptions mentioned here. Now, we check the unchecked exceptions or runtime exceptions. Now, next is the first type is the checked exception, compile time exception. Now, runtime exception. Unchecked exceptions are the exceptions that are not checked at the compile time. They are subclass of runtime exception. Unchecked exception represent a programming error such as logic mistakes or improper use of the API. Example: null pointer exception, array index out of bound exceptions, arithmetic exception. It may be Exception may be repeating, but we need to learn. That is the reason I'm repeating here. The list of built-in exceptions in for unchecked or runtime. Arithmetic exceptions, array index out of out exception, array store exception, null point exception, class cast exceptions, invalid class, illegal argument exceptions, illegal monitor state exception. Okay, there are so many exceptions. Monitor state exception, illegal thread state exception, index out of bound exceptions, negative array size exception, number format exception, security exceptions, index, string index out of bound exception, unsupported operations. These are the. So how to handle the exception handling? What are the exception handling keywords? One is the try. The try block is a block, try block. Try block. The try block contains a code that might throw an exception. If an exception occurs, it is thrown to the corresponding cache block. It is thrown the cache block. Now syntax. See the syntax. Try cache. Okay. Try code that might throw an exception. Cache. Next is the try. This is try syntax. Okay. Next the cache. Cache block. Try block. Exception handling. Then cache block. The cache block handles the exception thrown by the try block. Multiple cache blocks can be used to handle different types of exceptions. Syntax. Try code that might throw an exception. Catch. Exception type E. Code to handle the exception. Then finally block. Next is the finally block. This is finally block. The finally block contains the code that will always execute regardless of whether an exception will throw or caught. It is typically used for the resource cleanup. Okay. So for file opened, error occurs, then we need to close the files. All this we use in the finally blocks. This is the syntax. Try, cache, finally. Try, cache, finally. Fine. Now, next is the throw keyword. The throw keyword is used to explicitly throw an exception. Syntax throw, new, exception type, and in the bracket you have mentioned the exception value. Next is the throws. The throws keyword used to method signatures to declare that the method might throw one or more exceptions. That's it. Syntax return type, method name, parameter list, throws. What type of exception type 1, exception type 2. It may expect it to throws. Throw is a keyword. Okay, used to explicitly throw exceptions. Throws is the throws keyword used to method signature or to declare. Okay, this method maybe I'm expecting these are the exceptions, then you have to throw it out. Exception hierarchy. Now we'll see exception hierarchy. Throws. Throw is the keyword. Throws is the type, is the exception type. We can tell like that. Okay, exception hierarchy. Java.lang.object. This is my top of the hierarchy. From there, java.lang.throwable. Okay, then java.lang.error. We saw that in the picture. Okay, throwable, error, and exception. From here, see this from here, we have java.lang.exception 1 and the java.lang.error second. Right? Under java.lang, there is a IO exception, SQL exception. Under this, there is a runtime exception called java.lang.nullPoint exception, array index out of bound exception, arithmetic exception. So these are the pictures. Java.lang. Okay, fine. Hope you understood now. Error out of memory. Stack. Same thing I am repeating here. The throwable class. The throwable class methods. What are the methods in the throwable class? Get message, get cost, toString, print stack trace. Get message returns the message string about the exception. Returns the cause of the exception. It will return null if cause is unknown or non-existent. Returns short description of the exception. Print the short description of the exception using toString plus a stack trace for this exception on the error output stream system.error. Basic exception handling examples. Yeah. So we'll understand some basic programs. basic programs, basic exception handling. Try. Okay, now I put int type equal to result equal to 10/0. Cache. Okay, try block. Now cache block and a finally block. This is one program, small program for understanding. Okay. So before that, we will see one program here. This we'll see first. This is some example. I'll put a classmate. There is a try and a cache. Okay. Now copy. Go to the screen. Paste it here. See this. Class main, public static void main. Int. Divide by 0. 5 divided by 0. This is called a literal. Literal values just assigning into the declaration there itself. Okay. We saw in different videos. And divide by 0 is the variable name. Assign 5 literals. System.out.println. Rest of the code in try block. Okay. Now cache exception. This is the root of the exceptions. Handling the exception by using exception clause. That's it. System.out.println. Just I put here E. Just I put here E. Just save this program. Then Java C main.java. Now Java CP main. It is telling that arithmetic exception divided by 0. That's it. The E message is giving this is our java.lang arithmetic exception divided by 0. That's it. Now we'll see different formats. So this we got the ideas. Now basic main. We called main. So what is the difference between the previous and this? Here I have introduced arithmetic exceptions. Instead of putting exception, I know that this is the exception. If you don't know, we have to put the exceptions. If I know this is the arithmetic, we can use the subclass of the exception class. Okay. Now see this class main end result 10 divided by 0. This will throw arithmetic exceptions. Okay, arithmetic. This is divided, it's not 0. Caught exception, I put here E dot get message. These are all the throwable. This E dot get message. That we can put a E or you can put a E dot get messages and the finally block. Okay, whenever this is executed, this error comes or not, finally block will execute. Just to save this, program Java C main.java. Now, the caught exception. Sorry, caught exception. E dot get message means only the message will get. So whenever error comes or not, finally block will be. It's a cleanup, resource cleanup. We discussed about the finally is the resource cleanup. Just we grow this program and this is the output. We got finally block. Okay. Now I understood. So there is no need to explain again the explanations. Now we will go for arithmetic exceptions. So I told you rest of the code. Okay. So this is I can use arithmetic exception and without finally block also you can mention. Okay. Here 5 divided by 0. So it will print only arithmetic exceptions only. It won't display this. It won't display this. That's the difference. That's the difference in the code. So just I put copy, add it into. We are checking. After try blocks, something statement is there, it's working or not. That confusion is there. Okay. Now put Java C. The Java. Now see this. Finally block executed. So this is not executed. That's for testing. That's for testing only. That's it. Okay. Now we'll go array index outer bound exceptions. So now this is my numbers. I am printing, try to print these numbers. So I know this errors. I know this errors. So this errors only I am printing now. Okay. So if I know, just I'll explain again. Go to main Save this. Okay, now go to your command window. Okay, Java C, Java array index out of bound. Okay, so this is giving index out of bound system error message. System error message E. Or you can put E dot get message. Can use like this. Global common methods. Global common methods. It is giving here, it is not mentioning it. Here I give you the only messages. If you want only messages, you can print like this. Okay, now our doubt is if I don't know this, so I can put only exceptions. That's it. If you doesn't know anything, you can put only exception. This will solve all the problems. If you know particularly, you can mention the exception. If you don't know, just mention. Yes, I got out. Okay. So the multiple ways are there. So exception is if you know only, you can give the specific exceptions. Now this expression, same expression, I know arithmetic expression, division by denomination 0, b plus c. If I put this one, I will get these values. Okay. Then this just will exceptions. Main. I'll change it to main. This. Division by 0, value of y is 1. What am I here? Division by 0. So here y equal to a 10 plus b. Then this 20. So it is called exceptions. So what we understood here, that is important. So its program is not terminated. The exception handling means program is not terminated, it is working. That is the idea we got it. Without terminating program, we are cutting the errors. If next line is working properly, just you have to go out to this. Suppose here also we are making mistakes, we can also use try black. Wherever it is we feel errors comes, we can use the try blacks. Next, handling multiple exceptions. Handling multiple exceptions. See this? I have int 1, 2, 3, 4. Printing this one. This will show array index of 4. This will throw arithmetic index. So I can give one case for array index, another case for arithmetic exception. Two, and there is a multiple exception, handling multiple exception, multiple catch blocks for one try block. One try block has multiple catch blocks. This is the output. Okay. Now we'll go nested try block. Say multiple class block means we have nested try blocks. Here one try, errors. Another try, a cause. Okay, so this is a try, one try here, another number, then I put another exceptions and finally have one. Okay, so this is not a confusions. It's not a confusions. I put here. Now go there. What will happen? We'll see try outer try block. This is watching here. Next, it will run this one. It is errors. Okay, multiple one try block for one try block for this, and another try block for this. Okay, now save the program. Okay, main. See this first inner cache and outer cache out of index. So multiple try blocks, multiple try blocks. Next, demonstrate nested try blocks. So same example I'm giving with the different expressions. Custom exceptions. We can create our own custom exception by extending the exception clause or any of its subclasses. Custom exceptions are useful for specific conditions. Specific error conditions that are relevant to relevant to the application. So now invalid age exception extends. Extends means inheritance exceptions. So public invalid age exceptions. Invalid age exceptions. Okay, string message, super message. So here public class, a custom exception example. I can say this file is a custom exception example. Try valid age. Okay, valid age. So call invalid age exceptions. Now this one. So system.out.null call custom exception. What is the valid age? Here is the it is throws valid age int age throws if age less than 18 throws invalid age exception. This is my throws invalid age exceptions, right? So throws here method means throws and inside you have to throw invalid age exception. We can pass a message and it's printing. Now we take this. Now copy this program, paste it. So I'll say this program is a custom exception example. That's it. Save it. Start Java. Now, understood now? First, I defined the exception. Extended exception, I defined it by public class. Invalid exception, messages. Now, this is the my public static void mail. Here I called one method called valid age. In the try class flag. My catch is the invalid age exception. Invalid age exception. I calling this E. So custom. Now, void age is the int age throws invalid exception. If age less than 18, throw new invalid age exception. System.out.println. Okay. Now see this. Yes, see. Okay. Okay. Sorry. I will need to execute Java. See custom. Custom exception example.java. Now save. I put Java -cp. So for custom exception, age must be 18 or older. So this is my user defined exception. So you can define our own exception. User defined exception is nothing but here custom exceptions or user defined exception. Understood? Hope you all understood now. Okay, now this is the explanations. Chained exceptions. What is the chained exceptions? Allows you to relate one exception with another, forming a chain of exception. Okay, it is chaining. This is useful where an exception occurs as a direct result of another exception. Now, chained exception demo. Try method 1, cache. Then public static void method 1. This public static void is a method throws exception. Throws exception. Okay, method 2. Exception 2. Public static void method 2. Exception in method 2. Throws new exception. That's it. Copy. This is some giving some ideas. Okay, so understanding so in your project how to use that is very important. Okay, now I say this programmers chained custom exception dot. Now go to our window, Java C chain. Now put this. That's it. This now the exception in method 1, exception in method 2. That's it. That is for chained exceptions. Okay, so it is tough to understand, but if you practice, you will easily understand this. I use here print stat trace, or you can put in dot get message. That is also fine. Whichever you like, you can put it. Okay, now explains. This we have seen already. Array index count of exceptions. We have seen already. No need to see again. Number format exceptions. This also we have seen already. String index out of bound exception. This will see. What is that? Class Java.lang.string index out of bound exception. A string is nothing but an array of string type. This exception occurs when you are trying to access index that does not exist. Similar to what we have seen in array index out of bound exception. Each character of the string object is stored in a particular index starting from 0. In this, for example, in a string beginners, the character B is stored at the index because books. The B is stored at the index 0 and E at the index 1 and so on. To get the character present in a particular index of your string, we can use a method caret. Caret int of java.lang.string where int argument is the index. The following example, the scope of string beginner's book is from index 0 to 12. However, we are trying to access the character index 14, which does not exist, hence the exception actually. Now I'll put a main. Okay, now string beginners books. We are trying to access. Okay, class this. Say this. Understand the program. So beginners, str length and the caret 40. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is the reason we are finding the length. We are trying to find the character 40. It is nothing but a string index out of bound exceptions. Now save this program. In.java. Now go to our window. Now put Java C. Java. Then Java CP dot. So string index out of bound exceptions. So if you don't know, I told you already. If we don't know, we can try with the just the exception. Exception we can put then place e dot get message. Right? Save this program. Again, execute. So index out of one exception. So this is the easiest way to understand. So once you got this name, you can change here cache and understand this program. Next, null pointer exceptions. See null pointer exceptions. Yeah. So how it is accessed? See this. I put a main. So public static void main string str equal to null. Some dot str dot length null pointer exception. Now copy. Save this program null. I find the length, so I cannot find the length for the null. So understood exception handling now. That's it, null pointer exceptions. So if you don't know, I told you, if you don't know, I can put an exception. Put null pointer exception. Then put lead on. Java C, main.java. Main. I got that's it. Because the local is null. It is even a clear exception. Once you got, you can change the program. Null pointer exceptions. So this we have done. Actually, finally block. Okay. So finally block with array index of 4. Java try finally block. So throws and throws keywords. So here is different. So here I am using the throws keyword, exception handling in a throw keyword, and I am throwing the new arithmetic exceptions. I am using the existing, I am not defining any class. Okay, here see this divide by 0. Just calling this 0, divide by 0, this will throw the exception. That's it. Simple. It is divided by 0 now. Trying to, so I'm overriding the, what is called the overriding the arithmetic exception description. This should be through useful to overriding the, it is even normally divided by 0 slash. Instead of that, I want to display, I can display like this. Okay. So just calling the function. Now, check age greater than, another example. We have public class, static check age int, throw new exception, access denied. So here else, access granted. Now I got a check age, so 15. So this will throw this one first. Then if I change this one, it will throw the else one. Overriding, it's kind of a overriding. So understood, access denied. So I am giving my own description. Access denied. You must be at least 18 years old. Suppose I will change instead of 15 to 20. Access granted. Security purpose. Security purpose. Access granted. You are old enough. Fine. Now this is on throws keyword. Will say understand the throws keyword. The throws keyword used to declare the type of exception that might occur within the methods. We use the method declaration. Okay, example, say example. I go star. Here I put a file, find file, public starting void, find file, throws IO exception, input output exception. So I'm trying to open the file system. Okay, find file. The file is not occurred. File is not there in my mail. Just copy. File is not existing. If I created the file, suppose I'll create a file, put notepad, save, text, not, what is the file name? Text.txt. Text.txt. That's it. Now I will type something. There's something. Something you are typing. Now execute. File not found. Test. I would have text, I guess. Text. So I will change my program. Yeah. I'll put text. Text.txt. Okay. Now I execute, compile, and execute. That's it. No errors. File is there. No errors. That's it. Now this is the file not found exception. Handling multiple access in the cache block. So this is a, in this way we can mention exception type 1 or exception all we can mention instead of cache. By writing cache arithmetic case index out of bound, we can mention with the pipe symbol exception type. So example like this. Arithmetic exception, this one actually. So we can print the messages like this. You want to execute, I can help you. So it will find based on the errors, it will find the okay. Now see this Java. Now Java. Particle cache blocks. Okay, the mouse to it by. So I can divide like this exception, arithmetic exception, array index bound exceptions, all we can mention. So whichever nothing is there. If the error is not coming in this one, it is coming this one, it will automatically taken. This is the cache base, caching base and child exception clause. Okay. For example, number format exception, index format exceptions. Okay, multiple things are there. So these are the things enough to learn. So can we understand what is called user defined exceptions, everything. So we learned all this. Okay, this is more than enough. We can age all this. Thank you very much. If anything you have doubt, please put in my comment box.